This is Darius, the Professor Wise, host of Wise Words with Darius. Thank you.
Some of you have been told that you're not tall enough. Some of you have been told that you're not skinny enough. Some of you have been told that you're not smart enough. Some of you have actually been told that your skin color is not the right color. You've all been misdiagnosed.
Then it hit me. It's not hearing the information that matters. It is the application and the implementation of that information that makes the difference.
Yes.
Good evening. Happy Monday. You can go ahead. Happy Monday, guys. This is Darius, the Professor Wise. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Wise Words with Darius. I'm so excited that you joined me tonight. Today, I have a special guest with me again today, and I'll share a little bit about this young lady. But first, just for those who are new to the show and just for the first time checking us out, Wise Words with Darius is a way that we can actually go in and share some thought-provoking success principles, ideas on how to help you become your best self. And how do you get you to that point where you want to be in life? And what I like to call, just thinking yourself into your ideal situation. I am your host, Darius, the Professor Wise, motivational speaker, author of the book, What Are You Thinking? How to Become More Intentional, Deliberate, and Conscious with Your Thoughts, and trainer. And today, I have a special guest. So it's not just me today. I want to introduce this young lady to you. She is someone that I actually had an opportunity to meet not long ago. She has a podcast that I was very fortunate to be asked to be a part of, so I'm very excited about that. But her podcast is called Just Minding My Business, and she co-hosts that with another young lady, Ruth Haskins, and had the pleasure to speak at an event a few months ago, and actually Ruth was actually there, her co-host was there, and they asked me to come in and be a part of their podcast, which was truly a blessing. We had a great time doing that. But after speaking to Ida, my guest tonight, I had to have her on my show. We had so much chemistry on the show and speaking about how we think and how our mind works. So I definitely wanted to bring her in. But let me just tell you a little bit about Ida. This is Ida Crawford, so welcome her to the show. And Ida was born in Baltimore City, so she's a product of Maryland and graduated from the University of Baltimore. But when she graduated from school, she had a BS in Applied Information Technology. She kind of went down the same road I did a little bit, so we have some other things in common. When she graduated, she was in the IT field, but realized that she wanted to help some more people. So she actually went and received a certification as a life coach, and then did something I think is very powerful, is she combined her IT background with being a life coach so that she can help people in different companies. And she started a technology company called Daily Life for Me, which allows her to go in and help small businesses and support these businesses and help them have a better understanding of, how technology works, get rid of some of the fear and emotion surrounding the new technologies, and help them kind of flow in their day-to-day operations. But in conjunction with that, Ida also has been a contributing author on a few different books, and which was also got my attention, being a new author myself. But she's contributed in a book called Coaching for Entrepreneurs, how life coaching can help entrepreneurs improve their bottom line. She also co-contributed on Women Inspiring Nations, 25 Women Telling Their Truth. That book was actually with a good friend of mine, a mentor of mine too, Miss Cheryl Wood. And also best-selling book, Conversations Behind the Mic. So she's done some great things in the space of business. She's really excited about empowering and helping women entrepreneurs. So please help me welcome to the show tonight none other than Miss Ida Crawford. Yay!
Thank you, Darius. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate and then Ida came. I'm in Maryland. We're in Maryland doing the show, and so Ida came down from Pennsylvania. So I appreciate you taking that trip and coming down to hang out with me this evening. That's great.
Absolutely.
So, how are you?
I am wonderful.
Good.
I'm wonderful. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good
Yes.
stuff. So, I want to publicly thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yes. It was
And also
amazing.
having me on the special show you had last week about being grateful and thankful. I appreciate that as well. I had a great time with both of them.
Yes, I had a great time with you too.
Thank
that
you.
was an awesome conversation.
I know. We had a good conversation at the
Yes,
show
we
after
did.
the show.
Yes, we did.
The show after the show was good. So
Yes.
I appreciate that. So I want to talk about just some of the things that you've been doing and that you're doing now. But before we kind of get too deep, tell us a little bit about Ida. How did you come from Baltimore City to, getting to the place that you are? What kind of inspired you on the way? And then we'll kind of get into some of the things you're actually doing.
Well, in terms of, I've always been in the IT field. I've been in that over 25 years.
Okay.
I started out as a key punch operator.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the 80-column card.
Uh-huh.
And from there, back in the day, it was like if you showed initiative, then they would train you.
Okay.
So that's what ended up happening with me. I showed that I was interested in other areas of IT, so I ended up being a computer operator, and then went on to be a network administrator. What else was I? Break fix, the
Okay.
daily support. So I do a lot of that kind of thing. So that's how that got started.
Okay.
And I decided that when the industry changed,
Mm-hmm.
and I started seeing myself training college students, I was like, okay,
Right.
time for me to make another move.
Okay.
So I went and got my bachelor's in information technology.
Okay. Now, what took you into life coaching? What made you go down that path? What was it?
Well, actually, it found me.
Okay.
I was involved with a company called Compass, and it was such an amazing journey for me. I didn't, at that time, even though I had accomplished some things, I wasn't in control.
Okay.
I wasn't
That's
in
big
control.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Recognizing
Yeah.
that they're not in control.
And the thing of it was, when something would happen, I would be all over the place and, what am I going to do? That kind of mentality. And once I began to start to work from the inside out, oh my God. Oh my God. It was like being saved.
Right. But see, that's key what you just said. Working from the inside out. Typically, and even how we're conditioned. Growing up and just going through life and society the way it is now, the way that we are conditioned is we supposed to react to what's happening on the outside,
Right.
and just kind of not really deal with what's going on the inside. So when we figure out that if we work from the inside out, we have a better experience most of the time.
Right.
It's life altering.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is. And you start to begin to understand that you have control.
Yes.
It's not that life is always going to come at us
Mhm.
because we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute you are able to respond to situations
Right.
as opposed to reacting, oh my God, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes. That's my thing. Let's respond
It is
and not react as much.
Yes, it makes a totally difference in your day, especially when you start your day from a positive note.
Right.
It's
Right.
like things are going to come, but you kind of prepared yourself.
You already know that things are going to come.
Yes.
So it's not that big of a surprise, let's say, when things happen. Because
Absolutely.
you kind of already know, right? Mm-hmm. So understanding that, not being in control, not knowing, recognizing that you didn't have that kind of control. So then you go into the space of really going to get your certification to be a life coach. And how did that change like your whole mindset and your thinking moving forward from that point?
Oh my God, I was sorry when the class was over. I enjoyed it so much. I really enjoyed it because what it did for me, it helped me to tap into me and really start to understand who I am.
Right.
You know, as a person, every little nuance of me, you know, and it just made a big difference. And then from that experience, I wanted to just pour into people. You know how you get saved and you just want to.
You want to go tell the world, right? I'm going to tell everybody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Then I realized that everybody's not ready.
That's okay. So how did you discern that?
Well, I mean, you can tell because people who are not ready, they think that you kind of crazy. You know, they don't. You can just tell in the conversation that okay, this person is not ready.
They're not ready. Yeah.
And then you have people in denial.
Okay.
You know, because like you said earlier, you've got to recognize the issue before you can do anything about it.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't want to face it, so they live in this place where they just tolerate it.
Right. And tolerate just being tolerated.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And at some point, you gotta look at it, especially when you know within yourself that you need to be doing something
right
more than what you're doing.
Now, when you started going into the life coaching and you took the class, did you start to feel that call, that pull towards that's what you should be doing moving forward?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And it was funny because after I went through the training, I was really already doing it. Because in my work as an IT professional, I'm always at somebody's desk.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah, you're the go-to person.
Yes, I am.
Ida, I'm with you. I know.
Yes.
I don't work in that field anymore. There are people in my life. I have to make an announcement. There are people in my life that need to understand I'm not in IT anymore. But I don't think you ever get out of it with certain people, right?
No, you don't.
See, my wife was like, "Oh, babe, can you help me with this?" My mother calls me. All these people call. So yeah, so once you're in it, some people you're always in it, right?
Right, exactly. So what ended up happening, and I go to somebody's desk to fix a computer issue, and next thing I'm hearing about their kids or some kind of little issue going on. And we talking through it while I'm fixing the computer, and as I look back, I was kind of already doing it.
You were already doing it. The universe was preparing you for what it is that you were supposed to be doing.
Yes, and it still happens now.
Yeah.
Even now, it's like I talking to people while I'm fixing stuff. And it's always about what's going on in their world.
Right. Because you and see, this is what I believe in: confirmation, not coincidence. So it's just confirmation for you that this is where you should be. But the other thing is that you're always being drawn to people who need your help.
Always.
Right?
Yes.
So the universe is bringing you together with those people. And I think that's just like with us. I mean, I think it was in the cards for us to meet already. It's just you are. And I believe when you're on your path to where it is you should be going, in the direction that you should be going, you will start to meet people that are there to help you either learn something or kind of take you to that next level.
Yes.
So, that kind of leads me into when you started doing your life coaching and you really started to focus on that, what were you thinking, or what did you feel, right, when you mentally made that shift to kind of go from, all right, I'm just the IT person, right, in an IT field, to now I am really focused on helping people kind of guide them down their path as opposed to just kind of fixing their computer. Because we all go through something mentally. We
Yes.
kind of have that mental shift or something has to click. What was it for you? How did that make you feel? Or what did you think?
I felt anytime that I can help somebody in any way, it's this feeling that you get that is just so special. You know?
Yes.
And when you help other people,
Okay, we're going to keep going.
when you help other people, it helps you.
Yes.
You know, I get just as much benefit out of it, you know, as the person that I may be talking to.
Right.
I'm feeling, empowered just from the conversation and the exchange and things like that. So I started really feeling uplifted. My whole attitude changed. Everything changed.
Right.
My family were like,
Now, what did they think?
they was like, what's going on? What's going on with her?
Right.
And then I started making sure that I surrounded myself with those people that could support me in keeping that momentum going. It's like when you go to church. If you don't continue to go after you've been saved, you kind of lose it.
Yeah. You can't go back to the same lifestyle that you had before.
You just can't go back.
Yeah. I know that feeling very well. Now, I want to get into a couple things that you actually started. But before we do that, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to have Ida share with us one of the businesses that she has and talk about her podcast and some of the things that she shares with her audience. So I know it's many of you that will definitely benefit for some of the things that she actually shares. And then we're going to talk about a little mindset and this brain power that we have. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.
So we're all excited now because Darius has written his first book. Yes.
Why they doing that? I couldn't. I was
Couldn't
having
show
fumble finger.
Well, welcome back. Thank you. I'm glad that you came back, guys. My guest today is Ida Crawford. We're talking a little bit about some of the things that she's done. She's a background in the IT field. She's a life coach. But then now I want to talk about a couple other things that Ida has done that really has been able to empower some others outside of herself. Ida actually has a company called Daily Life for Me. Tell us a little bit about Daily Life for Me. What do you do, and what does your company do?
Well, my company supports small business owners with the break fix that occurs in business with the computer. We also work with our clients to educate them on the dangers of the internet and to be more mindful of how they're handling their clients' information and things like that. Because one of the things, after you come out of corporate, you can't call help desk anymore.
Right. So these are small businesses
Yes.
for the most part that you're okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't call help desk and they come and fix it. You are the help desk.
You are the help desk, right?
So, I educate on little things that people can do to protect their data, to protect their computer, some best habits, the things that you should be doing on a regular basis with your computer.
Okay. So with the businesses that you work with there, usually small businesses, any particular type of business or home-based businesses, or is it?
It's home-based businesses.
Okay.
And I also, I'm still working my 9 to 5.
Okay.
So,
You got all kind of hustles going on. All right. I'm not mad at that.
so I do tech support there as
Okay.
well. So it's, a lot of desktop support, setting up meetings and things like that, bringing in new users, setting up their shares,
Okay.
and things like that on the server.
Okay.
So I still work.
So anybody who has a small business or a home business that is not sure how to do all those things, they can reach out to you.
Yes.
And you can help them with that. Okay.
Yes.
So give them the website or how they can contact you for the business if they have a small business and they need some IT assistance.
Okay.
Because I know it's a lot of people who do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The website is dailylifeforme.org, and all my information is there. And if you have any problems with anything, there's a big space there for you to do a description and things like that. I'm also on the SpeedyX warranty platform, which is another collaboration that I'm doing with a gentleman by the name of Jonas Mervelis. And this particular project is all about helping people to save money on the things that they buy every day.
Oh, okay.
So
they can find Daily Life for Me there as well?
Yep.
Okay.
They sure can.
So if you are a business owner, you having some IT issues, especially if you're home-based or small business, definitely look Ida up, dailylifeforme.org. Right? Okay.
That's it.
All right. Now, the other thing that this young lady does that I want to put some time into is she's very engaged in helping women especially, but not just women, but women especially, entrepreneurs, and either aspiring to start a business or you own a business. She started a group, and I want to actually talk about the group that she has for women. So tell us a little bit about Sister Circle Empowerment.
That's another project that found me.
Okay. All right.
Because as I walked through my new mindset, I started to see other women with the same mentality that I had.
Okay.
And from that, I said, maybe I need. Well, first it started off as a meetup.
Okay.
The organization piece was something that came out of the meetup because I felt as though it needed to be more than just meeting once a week or once a month. We needed to have some engagement where you can really support women who might be sitting at the kitchen table trying to do all this stuff by themselves.
Right.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? You know what I mean? When there's a whole bunch of other like-minded women that we can collaborate with. So a lot of what we do is personal development,
Okay.
business development, networking types of things. Because when you're first starting a business, it's a mind shift.
Yes.
A huge mind shift.
Yes.
Because you're not going to get paid every 2 weeks. You're not going to get paid every week.
Say that.
And you're going to pour into this business, and belief is going to be literally small as a mustard seed at times.
Now, all right, on that note, tell me, what was the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome going from the employee mindset to the entrepreneur mindset? What was the biggest hurdle you had to overcome?
You know what? I've always been an entrepreneur
Okay.
ever since I can remember.
All right.
Even as a kid, I think my mother taught me how to crochet.
Oh.
And I would crochet hats and
sell the hats?
And then I ran a typing service.
Okay.
At one time where I did resumes, and I would do pickup and delivery and all this kind of stuff. So through the course of my life, it seems like I always had something going on, because I think it happened when I got laid off, and I realized how much control I didn't have.
Or somebody else had.
Well, right.
Right. Either way, however you want to look at it.
Right, exactly. And I needed to have something that was mine.
Okay.
So it's kind of been a part of me for a long time.
So with that mindset and thinking that way, Do you share? Is that part of what you share with the women, like with the Sister Circle Empowerment Network? Do you share those things that they should have something for themselves, something outside of what they're doing, or are they already thinking about starting a business or already started a business?
Most of the women are already started a business or reinventing or, things of that nature or thinking about starting a business. So
Okay.
or everybody's in a startup mode,
Okay.
so to speak, or revamping or whatever. And the Sister Circle is a place where we can share ideas, collaborate, educate one another because when you have a group of people in a room and everybody's on the same page, there's so much opportunity to learn.
Yes.
So much opportunity to learn the things that you didn't know you didn't know. So that's what
Just being able to collaborate with some others, yeah.
And be able to bounce ideas off of one another, and it's just a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I love too. And sometimes this is the challenge that I think, or I've seen, is that sometimes it's challenging to find people that are on that same page or on that same wavelength. So having something like the Sister Circle Empowerment Network really is a great opportunity for women to come together and really just feel comfortable with who they are, who they're striving to be.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's a challenge for you to feel like you're the only one that has these ideas and has this desire and these passions to really go outside of the box, let's say, what the norm is and what society says, and kind of step out there. So it's comforting. It's kind of reassuring to know that you're not the only one.
Right.
You
And
know.
it's a lonely thing when you get started. You sitting all by yourself.
Yes.
On the internet.
Yes.
Well, what does that mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure it out. And when it's a group of people and, that can explain it or be able to help you to see it differently,
Right.
it just makes a huge difference.
It does.
It just makes a huge difference.
It does. And I'm always looking to, network and find other people that are in this space. And being a speaker and now an author, I'm always looking for people that are in that space. Plus, it's just good sometimes to have a stimulating conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes you just want to have a stimulating conversation, and that's good as well. And I know for me, I did have to change my mindset going into this. And not only is that what I talk about, and that's my platform, is how we think and things of that nature, but I had to make some changes myself.
Yes.
And I had to recognize that the old me or the old way I acted or thought could not come with me to this new venture.
Right.
Moving forward. So I had to kind of drop some things, change some thought patterns, and change some habits that I had, and realize that I had to pick up some new things. And some of that comes with being around other like minds.
It does. It absolutely does. It's like it rubs right off.
Yes, yes. It's not only the negative that rubs off. The good rubs off, too, if you find yourself in the right circle.
Yeah.
So I know I had to do the same thing. It's just finding that core that you can associate with, but at the same time still understand mentally that it's about you. And you have to be in the mindset that you really are not concerned to the degree of you're going to stop what you're doing based on what other people think.
Oh, yes. And once you can get past that,
Yeah.
it's on.
Yeah. and I'm sure that's probably one of the main issues that you may have, that you come across with some of the people in your group, some of the women, is worried about what's happening outside. Remember, we talked about that from the inside out.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's a hard shift to make,
Yes,
a difficult
it is.
shift to make, and not be concerned about what that next person is going to think.
Right.
Or what that next person is going to say.
Well, the other thing is trying to be like somebody else.
Yes.
That's the other piece.
Yes.
I mean, it's okay to observe other people and see how they do it. And it's also okay to steal a little bit of it.
Oh yeah. I
But-
call it R&D. I learned this a couple years ago. So R&D, rip off and duplicate. So
Right. Exactly. But you have to put
your spin on it.
You have to make it yours.
Yes. One of the speaking of that, one of the primary things that I share with people all the time, and we talked about this earlier, you said, was the thinker and the prover.
Yes.
I talk about the mind having two parts, the thinker and the prover. That I did not come up with that. And I don't claim that it's mine. I use it like it's mine though.
Right.
But I learned that from a gentleman by the name of George Zollicki over 20 years ago. So I always say that that's who I learned it from, but I rip off and duplicate. I put my own little spin on what I learned from him.
That's right.
And I take that and I share that because I just think it's a genius way of understanding how we think. And so some people have great ideas that you may be able to take and add a little bit to it, make it a little bit better. So don't be afraid to kind of R&D, but give them some credit too, right?
Right,
So,
that's right. The artists do it all the time in the music world.
Yeah. So I give George credit all the time. Even in the book. I talk about it in the book. I give him credit. But that was something that, and we all got it from somewhere else anyway.
There's nothing new on the earth.
Yeah. And if we go back, it's all in the Bible. A lot of these success principles, that's where they all come from.
Yes.
So, we can't be afraid to, take what we've learned from someone else and apply that and put our own spin on it to apply it to what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So now with the Sister Circle, how did that, well, let's go back. Let me say it this way. What do you all do now? And is it something that people can become a part of? Is it an open group or is it events that you put on? What is it that you are focused on right now for the most part?
Absolutely. We're focusing on right now a marketing division for small business.
Okay.
We're doing a digital marketing piece. Of course, we got the radio show.
Yes, we're going to talk about the radio show, but go ahead.
Which is doing fantastic. And thank you for all the people that have helped us build it thus far. Much love. And we're in the process of, regrouping to try to come up with, do at least 3 events next year.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're working on right now. And,
Okay.
trying to make sure that we have a presence. Of course, I travel a lot for the organization, but I want the group to be together,
Right.
doing things together as a unit. Because I have some amazing women. The women are just talented
Right.
and good at whatever they're doing. They're very good at what they do. So I want to showcase them so that people can meet us as a unit as well as them individually.
Okay, so the events will be...
Probably in the DMV area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to start home.
Right. Start in your backyard.
That's right.
Start in your own backyard and grow from there.
Yeah.
So with the events, does the Sister Circle have a website or Facebook
yes.
page?
Yeah.
Share that, because I'm sure you'll probably have some more people that'll want to join you ladies that are aspiring entrepreneurs.
It's the sistercircle.org, and we are on Facebook.
SISTA.
Yes, ASISTAS.
Yeah.
Circle.org.
ASistaCircle.org.
We are on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter page. We have a LinkedIn page. We have a what else? Did I miss
Instagram.
something? Yeah, Instagram.
Instagram, all the Twitters, all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, we're on all the major social media platforms.
Now, I know this question coming from a male perspective may not even make sense, but what made you focus on women being entrepreneurs?
Because I saw myself in a lot of women. I saw myself, I would go to networking events and be all pumped up and then go home and do nothing. And then get up the next day mad. Okay,
all right, so let's talk about that a little bit. let's dig into that right there. So you would go to an event.
Yes.
Get excited. Go home and not use the information.
Yes.
Okay. I call that the warm bath. It's like
I like that.
it's like a warm bath, right? Feels good while you're in it. You're
Yeah.
nice and comfy and it's cozy. As soon as you step out and that cold air hits you, you're like, ooh, and you just want to wrap
Right.
up and go somewhere.
Absolutely.
Right. And so, but that is for me, that I mean, you struck kind of a nerve with me because that was my situation. Right. I would go to all these different events and go hear these great speakers and do all those things. And I struggled with taking action after, or even feeling like I was even in a place where I could start where they were saying I should. Like I didn't feel like I was even at that level to even start from what they were telling and what they were sharing. So that is a major, first, just you going was great because a lot of people won't even go to the events. But going to the events, that is a big hurdle is to now, after the event's over, what do you do? What are you going to do?
And then I went to that place, what I didn't have, like most people did. All these great speakers are saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. I don't have any of that.
Right. Yeah, that was me. Like, so where do I start?
Right. Exactly.
Where does the one like me that doesn't have all that, where do I start?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So how did you take that and then actually make something happen though?
Okay, what I started to learn is that you're not going to have it all.
Mm.
You just ain't going to have it all. It doesn't work that way. It's like you look at what you already have.
Okay.
Look at what you have. And, you know, I like in my first collaboration, if you don't have a computer, the library has plenty of them.
Right. That's true.
And start to, you know, look at the things around you that you can utilize to grow, to go ahead and start moving out into what you want to do. And that's a difficult thing at first because your mind is going to, you know, that approval.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
It's going to hover on the fact, I don't have this, I don't have that. But you got to kick it to the side and say, look, I do have something.
Right.
And start writing it down. I'm telling you, writing is magic. There is something magical about writing things down.
Yes, it is.
It's like you kind of made a promise to yourself, so to speak. When you write it down, it had gotten to the point where I would have a little pad in my robe pocket, just in case I'm sitting there watching TV. I can just drop
That
something
idea
down.
hit you? Let me write this down.
Yes.
But you know, with writing as well is that you use so much of your brain as well. You're using both sides of the brain because first you're thinking of what you want to write. Then you're actually physically writing it. And then while you're writing it, you're also reading it.
Yes.
So you actually are ingraining those things as you write it. So it is good to write those things down.
Yeah.
And it's something that I always tell myself. I have, like in my office at home, and my wife probably gets sick of it all the time, but I have Post-it notes everywhere. Because I'm like, I'm like, something hits me, I'll just write it on the Post-it note because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to forget it, but it may be something that, you know, I just needed to get out of my head as well. So I'll write it. I'll have all these different Post-it notes, and I even use my phone too. So I have the little notepad in my phone, but I use that. But I write all those little things down, and it really reinforces a lot of the things that you want too.
It does.
You know.
And it's so funny what you didn't have. I remember just an example. When I first started my typing business way back when, I went to the pawn shop and got a computer. I didn't have any money, so I said, I'm going to go to the pawn shop. And then I put an ad in the Sun paper because back then it wasn't.
Right.
We're
We're pre-Facebook and all that stuff.
And I put a little ad in the paper, and this guy called. I couldn't even find the ad.
Wow.
The guy called me.
Somebody else found it.
Somebody else found it. And when he got to my office, I was like, "Can you show me where that ad?"
You didn't even know where your own ad
I couldn't
was.
even find it. It was so tiny.
Oh wow.
But it was like once I did that small little thing, then I ended up buying another computer. And I bought 2 printers. And as you begin to move through whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, the stuff will come.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, again, the universe starts to put in your path the things that you need. I believe that you're not going to be given an idea that you do not have the capacity to fulfill.
True that.
I don't think you'll have a dream. I don't think God or the universe is going to give you a dream that you don't have the capacity to fill. So you may have had that dream, and at that moment, you might not be able to fulfill it. Mm-hmm. But you will have the things that are coming to your path. You will have the people that are coming to your life that will be able to show you, teach you, and guide you how to get there.
Absolutely.
So how to actually get down that path. So you being an entrepreneur from the beginning, there was somebody that kind of set some example or something that happened that kind of triggered your mind to say, okay, I need to have that. I know before was all the control from the job. Like, so you've done so many other things. Like, it's always something or somebody that may trigger something within you. And it's just a matter of listening.
My dad, he was a plumber.
Oh, okay.
He was a plumber, and I never forget the day he came home and told my mother he quit his job. She was too done with him.
Right.
And we were his answering service. Because back then it was beepers and pagers.
Oh, right.
And he took care of a family of 5 doing his plumbing business.
Yeah.
And then I recall, in my family, my aunt, she lived in New York, and she did hair for all the stars. She lived right across the street from Apollo.
Oh, wow, okay.
So all of the people that came over to perform, she did the hair.
Wow.
She was a hairstylist.
Okay.
Right. So it's been as I look back in my family history, there's been quite a few entrepreneurs in my family. One of my aunts in Baltimore had one of the few black people that had a corner store.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I guess it's sort of in my genes.
Yeah. and for me, it was opposite. So, you may not be in a situation where it may be in your direct family. Which is good, though, if it is, because you have examples right there. But it's always somebody that you can look up to.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Somebody that you can get some inspiration from to move forward. I just think that we weren't designed to just work a job. And I'm not saying quit your job or do any of that thing. I just think that we have some passions.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we need to pursue those if it's not your job. Because there are plenty of people that do what they love and what they feel they were called to do.
Yes.
But I think we should all, at some point in time, embark on that journey to figuring out what is this thing that keeps gnawing at me that I feel that I should be doing.
That's exactly what it does. Gnaw at you.
It gnaws at you. I know. It gnaws at me. That book gnawed for 20 years, so I know. It's always something. But it's just how we think, though. I mean, we have to adjust the mindset. We have to adjust the thought process and get away from the paradigm that we were raised with.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to snap that to get back to understanding that there's something else.
Yes.
There's more out there.
And you feel it. You kind of feel it in your soul. You get up, you go to work every day, and in the back of your mind is, I should be doing something else.
Yeah.
And you're constantly feeling it. You're constantly talking about it within yourself.
Right.
But you just haven't made the move.
Right. That's that fear thing.
That's exactly what it is.
That's the fear that we give life to. We give it life, and we sustain the life of it because society so often is teaching us that.
Yes.
And that's why I think that having the Sister Circle Network is a great thing, because when you get into those slumps, and we get into those, sometimes that voice inside, we kind of give it too much power, and it kind of takes over a little bit, and we feel like, okay, maybe this is not it.
Yeah.
And having that sister circle really is a place where you can go and kind of just get fed again, you know, and just get back into what it is that you should be doing, and have somebody help that can kind of lift you up a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Because in this one body, everything happens. Everything happens.
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You working, you got a husband possibly, you got
Right.
children.
Yeah.
You got all the stuff coming from the left.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know God will not put more on you than you can handle. But sometimes it gets to that tipping point.
Yeah, you get to that breaking point sometimes. You do. So you have to understand that. And you know, some of the things we're talking about on your show is just how we think and how we are programmed to handle those things.
Yes.
You know, we have situations that happen. They're always going to happen.
Yes.
How do you respond when those situations actually arise? You know, what path do you go to when there's a roadblock? What do you do when somebody throws that boulder in there and you felt like it was going to be smooth sailing, but something happens?
Right.
You know, what do you do? What do you fall back on? And that's why I think just having the group is a good thing, and just all those things kind of play into each other. But I also want to talk, before we wrap up, is about your podcast, because you put some great information out on the podcast. You have great guests on your podcast. So let's talk a little bit about just minding my business.
Well, that's another way for me to support small business.
Okay.
In terms of being able to get their voices out to an audience that they may not necessarily touch.
Right.
You know, and bringing your gift to this platform, you're helping somebody.
Right.
Who knows? You may inspire somebody to be able to do something that they wouldn't necessarily do until they heard you.
So how long have you been doing the podcast?
Well, I really got serious last year about it. I was on the Raven, don't kill me. I was on Raven's platform,
Okay.
Amazing Women and Men of Power.
And
And she had like a training program, and she kind of trained me on some of the things that I should be doing. And one of the things was, prior to that, I was on Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't doing it enough.
Right.
I didn't have that consistency, and I went through a year of her program, and she helped me to hone into what I need to do.
Okay.
So I started the podcast, the new one, 9 months ago.
Okay, so this year.
Yeah, so it's been, I've got very consistent with everything that I'm doing, and I'm so grateful to have Ruth as my co-host. She is saved today. Because it's
Ruth
a lot of work. It really is a lot of work.
It is.
You've got to find people. Then with the podcast, I've got to do all the engineering stuff in terms of putting the stuff and then putting the interview and then listening to it and then uploading it and making sure, sometimes I have to, there might be a little bit of background noise. I need to get rid of that. Yeah. So, and all of this has been a learning process, which I am really happy about, because I'm having that IT background.
That helps with
really helps a lot.
Yeah. And I just started doing my show here with WBGR a few months ago, back in the beginning of November. And last year, I actually did a show. It was on Blog Talk Radio as well. So I did Blog Talk Radio as well. But what are some of the topics that you usually have? And where can people listen and tune into your podcast?
Okay. Well, we're everywhere. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. And we're on the Spreaker platform. And most of my guests have been entrepreneurs. Okay. And in all different types of industries. Financial, art. Okay. Coaches, business coaches. I've
Okay.
had all types of people on here, and I love it because I learned so much from the people that I interview.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had a good time on the
Yes,
interview.
we did. We had a great time.
We had a good time. So, what nights?
Oh, Thursday night, 6 o'clock.
Thursday
Every
night, 6
Thursday
o'clock.
at 6 p.m. On any one of those platforms.
So make sure you check out Just Minding My Business. And if you are a business owner and you have some things you want to share, how can they reach out to see what they need to do, if they can be a guest or...
Oh, okay. They can send me an email at jmmbradio@gmail.com.
So jmmbradio@gmail.com. So, and check her out on Thursdays, 6 p.m. on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube. Is that it?
Spotify.
And Spotify. So she's on all those platforms, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Getting out there, putting that information out. So definitely check it out. I had a great time on the show. We did the show 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. But great information. So if you are and I don't even think that you have to be just a entrepreneur either.
No, you
It's just
don't.
information that you can use that can help you in life, period.
Yes.
You know, it may be something that you're going through on your job, that you may learn something, how to handle a certain situation, or just with your family, your kids or your spouse, or whatever it is. So definitely check Ida out. Her and Ruth, they do a great job over there at Just Minding My Business. I love the title of it too. That's good stuff. Now, one of the things that we do, Ida, before we wrap up, is in the book. I brought this over to the show. In the book, I have at the end of every chapter, I have a section called "What Now." Okay, and so the "What Now" section basically is just some tips, some action steps that people can take to kind of take them to that next level based on what that chapter is talking about. So I brought that into the show. So I have this segment right before we wrap up called "What Now." So I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to have you share a couple things that you think people or these, women need to know going into entrepreneurship, or, if they are already entrepreneurs, some of the things that they may want to do or look at or be aware of, some action steps that they can take. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into our What Now segment, and Ida's going to share some of her top tips with us. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How many of you, by show of hands, are here because you're looking to be inspired? Okay. How many of you are here because you would like to be motivated? Okay. Your mind has two parts. There's the thinker and there's the prover. The thinker thinks and the prover proves.
All of you. Some of you have been told that you're not tall enough. Some of you have been told that you're not skinny enough. Some of you have been told that you're not smart enough. Some of you have actually been told that your skin color is not the right color. You've all been misdiagnosed.
It's not hearing the information that matters. It is the application and the implementation of that information that makes the difference.
Welcome back. So we are going to get into the What Now segment. But before we do that, again, my guest for tonight is Miss Ida Crawford, sharing some great things about where she's been, some of the things she's doing right now, empowering women with the Sista Circle Empowerment Network. Also, some of the other businesses, she's a jack of all trades. She's got some things going on. So if you are a small business owner, you're having some IT issues, you're not really sure what to do, this young lady can also help you with that. But before we wrap up, want to get into the What Now segment. So, Ida, what are some things that you would encourage people to either do, or suggestions that you have, or just some takeaways that they can have from either the sister circle, and just some of the things you went through for those women that are looking to take that step?
One of the things, if you're thinking about starting a business, write out your plan. I call it a picture of your business. Because what happens if you have a husband, if you have children, they are going to have to understand this new move that you're going to be making. So you may want to sit down and have a meeting with your family, letting them know that I want to start this business, and, just get into what you're trying to do. They may not get it. It's okay.
Is it okay?
It is. But
Okay.
But the thing of it is having that conversation with them.
Yes.
So that way, once they see you engaging, and they will understand, well, dinner wasn't ready because I had to go to an event.
You're going to explain that one sometimes.
Well, I have a system. I only cook on the weekends.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
cook enough stuff to heat up
To get you through the
to
week.
get you through the week.
All right. So write out your plan. So that's your picture of your business.
Yes.
Then kind of have that family meeting.
Yes.
Anything else that you...
And just stick to it. I mean, because what I'm what I understand is you have to keep going. Consistency is the key. You might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you will become someday, as long as you continue to do it.
Yes. Consistency is key.
It is
So
real important.
those are 3 great steps. So if you are looking, and this is not just for women, because I think this crosses gender here. If you are looking to do anything, if it's a business or whatever, these are great ideas. So write out your plan, which is kind of a picture of your business. Have that meeting. And sometimes that meeting may just be with you.
Could be.
It could be just you having a meeting with you to get your mind right on what to expect and what's coming. So have that meeting or the family meeting and then stick to it. Consistency is the key, and I'll just add this if I can, don't try to do the whole thing at one time.
Right.
We have this big grandiose idea, right? I want this, the house on the hill, the picket fence and all that, but we're in the apartment right now. We're trying to figure out how to go from there to that.
It's a process.
And we got to take those small, consistent steps. So just stick to it until it manifests itself.
And it will.
And it will.
It will.
I agree 100%.
It will.
It will. Well, Ida, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. This has been a very good hour for me. I really enjoyed you being here.
I
And,
had a good time.
and one of the things that I loved about, you sharing tonight was you actually made it really real. And what I mean by that is that there's so many people that think they have to be in a certain place in order to move forward, or in order to have the business or have this dream. And you really kind of make me realize that it can be anybody, right? And I hope that came across to everybody, is that you don't have to be any specific place. You don't have to be born with any specific genes or anything like that. You can make these things happen for yourself. And you really exemplify that based on just the things that you've done and that you're doing, and you make it so real. I mean, I just, the word I just keep coming back is that you make it real, where people can see that I can still have the job, I can still have the 9 to 5, and still have what it is that I have a passion for, and do that on the side as well. And you can do that to build up to what it is that you want it to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I look at them, they're my sponsors.
They're your sponsor. I love it. There you go. That's your sponsor.
And I got that from a young lady named Renee Lamb, who is a very good friend of mine. And
Uh-huh.
she said that. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Sometimes you need a sponsor.
Yeah.
So let the job sponsor you. They sponsored me for many years, so I understand. And I appreciate them.
Absolutely.
But thank you for being here. I appreciate you. It's been a great time. I'm so glad you came down from Pennsylvania. I'm glad. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're on Facebook, I appreciate it. Make sure you share this out because I know you have some women, especially that may be looking to be business owners or are business owners and just need that extra push. You know, a Sister Circles network may be just what you're looking for. So thank you guys. We will be back next Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a phenomenal week. And always remember, greatness begins with one wise decision. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next time.
This is Darius, the Professor Wise, host of Wise Words with Darius. Thank you. Some of you have been told that you're not tall enough. Some of you have been told that you're not skinny enough. Some of you have been told that you're not smart enough. Some of you have actually been told that your skin color is not the right color. You've all been misdiagnosed.